So the video is recording for anybody that misses it, and they can watch it later. So I'm going to share my screen if I can find, I guess I don't have, I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you ladies first, and then I'm going to screen share on my phone, which is why I have both devices connected. So let me do, it's not showing my PowerPoint. Technical difficulties, of course. All right. So can you guys see the PowerPoint? Maybe? Yeah, okay. All right. So
hey, Cassandra.
Yeah.
Could you send this to us too when we're done?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Awesome. Thank you.
So this is what we're going to learn about today. Still photography, which is like flat lays, any kind of product photography, anything like that. We're going to talk about selfies, and then we're also going to talk about how to edit your pictures. So we're going to talk about lighting, filters, posing, composing your pictures, and different things that you can use for backgrounds. iPhotos, which is one of the apps that Android, I don't know anything about that, so I'm sorry, Android ladies. But Google Photos has a lot of the same stuff that iPhotos does, and then Lightroom. And I can go over a couple other apps if you guys are interested, like PicStitch, which is a collage maker, Picfee, which is another kind of like Canva, but it does a couple of different things too. So first, let's talk about lighting. So when you're taking pictures, whether you're doing still pictures or selfies or anything like that, the color match tip that you give to your girls when they're wanting to do a color are great tips for taking pictures of anything else also. So as you can see in this first photo here, you don't want to be in direct lighting because that makes the picture look washed out, and you can get really harsh shadows. So if you look, I put the compact here over like just outside of the direct lighting area. So it's indirect lighting, and you can see that's the photo that I took with that setup. So the colors are clear, there's no harsh shadows, the shadows are softer, and that's what you want. You don't want like a harsh black line of shadows right here, which is what you'll get if you put it in direct lighting. This girl in the yellow dress down at the bottom here, you can tell in the first photo the sun is behind her, and so that's what we call backlit, which can be really good for photos. It gives it like a softer look, but if you notice in the first photo, her face is in the shadow, which is not what we want. So down here in the bottom left, these are reflectors that you can buy on Amazon for like $10 or $20. They come in a bunch of different colors, and you can see in the sample photos what different effects you can get with the different colors. Silver one is my favorite for reflecting the light back onto you. It gives it like a soft look, but even if you don't want to buy one of these reflectors, you can use something you already have at your house, like a piece of poster board that's white. That'll be a good reflector, or even like a white sheet or something. And then I also put ring light in here. Natural light is better just because it gives it like a more realistic color. But if it's night or it's really cloudy and there's no sunshine out, then you can use a ring light for selfies or for product photography too. Just try to get it as close to natural lighting as possible. Any questions about lighting? So I'm probably gonna get a lot of kickback on this one. I have used filters in the past, and I like Snapchat. They give you like the little kitty cat ears and stuff like that. But as far as for your business, it's better to not use a filter because it shows a digitally edited version of you instead of a Saint enhanced version of you. It's just unfiltered makes you look confident if you're putting a filter on your pictures. then people can tell that there's a filter on there, and they can tell that it's like the computer making you look better and not the makeup that you're trying to sell. So that's just my opinion. If you want to use a filter, that's okay. If you're not at that confidence level yet, that's fine. But just know that the natural pictures show off the makeup better, and that'll help you sell the makeup better. So posing. So there's a lot of pictures of me on this page, but as you can see, to get the picture that I want, sometimes I take dozens of pictures to find which one is the best angle for the look that I'm doing that day. So first, when you're taking a selfie, make sure that you're holding your arm out as far as it'll go, and then like bending it at the elbow so that your phone is above eye level. So at or above. For me, I like it a little above eye level. That kind of takes away a little bit of my extra chins that I have here. And then if you tilt the phone just a little bit towards your head, it'll actually give you kind of like a doe eye look, and make your eyes look just a little bit bigger, which I have giant eyes anyways, but I still, as you can see in that giraffe picture from back at Halloween, I still like to make my eyes look even bigger. So you can do the front on pictures that you see that I did down at the bottom. Those are mom's favorites for before and after pictures. I'm not a super fan of my face front on. So if you'll notice, like most of my pictures, I'm like looking slightly off to the side, and then my eyes are like turned back at the camera, just because that's what's best for me. But everybody's different, and whatever works comfortable in the photo, everybody can tell that. So whichever photo makes you feel the most confident, that's the one you should pick. So if it's front on, if it's 3/4, if it's profile, whichever one works for you, just use it. Just go with it. Also, like I said, take a ton of pictures. There's no limit to storage these days. Like it used to, we only had room for like 30 pictures on our phone, but now we all have like unlimited storage amount, right? Or one of my friends has like an old phone still. So my phone's not new. It's an iPhone 7, so I've had it for like 5 years. But if you are like trying to conserve storage space, then you can always go back and delete all the pictures that you don't like. It doesn't hurt anything. So always take more than you think you'll need. Take them at different angles, take them vertically, take them landscape, because sometimes you need a picture for like a cover photo and you want it to be in the landscape orientation, and then you don't have one that's that can fit the cover photo area. And also, I was gonna say, if you don't love any of them, like you took like 10 or 15 pictures and you don't love any of them, that was what happened in this top left-hand picture here. I wasn't super in love with this, but on the live photo function of the iPhone, it takes like a 2-second clip. And so this is actually the one that I posted on Connie's page this past week when Bayou was on sale. So it actually turns it into like a little mini GIF. Oh, so, and when you post that on Facebook, it actually does like a repeat. So it keeps going back and forth like a boomerang or whatever. So that's a pretty neat feature on iPhone for you Android ladies. I don't know if Android has that or not. Sorry, I don't know. I don't speak Android.
I'm just
And then,
oh.
good morning. And then make sure that your face is the focus of the photo. So this was one of mom's like first selfies when she was starting out with Glitter and Glam. So you can see like half of the photo is empty space up here. So she wasn't always the professional photographer that she is nowadays. She's still learning lots every day. So just make sure that you don't leave too much extra space in your pictures when you're taking pictures, selfies, or anything else. You don't want a lot of extra space unless you're doing that on purpose because you're going to add some text up here in Canva or something. So there are some times that you would want to leave some extra space because sometimes when you take a selfie like these that I've cropped over here, and you want to add like what eyeshadow colors you had in the picture. There's not a lot of space, like in this photo, for example, in the middle, to do that. And then when you're wanting to show off your eyeshadow, the best way to do that I've found is to look down like at your legs, but don't close your eyes completely. Because when you close your eyes, your face kind of can tense up and that can give you some little extra lines on your face and stuff, especially for those of us that are getting up in age. But don't close your eyes all the way because it will give your face a more relaxed look. So these are some of the flat lays. If you notice, like these are from last year. These are not the new Saint stuff except for the top right one. I just got my Saint brush set this past week or 2 weeks ago. And so I'm still working on getting some more pictures for Saint products now. But as you can see, there's lots of different ways you can take pictures. This one is a flat lay. So this one is from directly above. This was a table in my craft room. You'll see it in a minute when I switch to my phone. But when you're taking photos that are flat on the iPhone, again, I don't know about Android for you ladies, but there's like a crosshair in the middle of our camera. And you'll see that when I'm showing you in a minute, but you want to try your best to make sure that that is the crosshairs are lined up in the middle, because that means that your phone is level and that's not going to skew the picture. So you can also take pictures from the front like this one. And again, you want to just try not to tilt the phone when you're taking the picture, because again, that can skew it. So if you tilt it backwards, it'll make the top look skinnier than the bottom. If you tilt it forward, it'll make the bottom look skinnier than the top. So just try it when you're doing specifically front on photos to keep your phone as vertical as possible. And then you can also take angled photos. So if there's something like with these bottles in the bottom right, I wouldn't want it to look like one part of the bottle was bigger than the other. But when you're taking pictures of the compacts or the brushes or the makeup, sometimes it's better to be at an angle. Like this photo in the top middle is better for like a cover photo because you can get a longer, wider shot out of that. Whereas this one would be good for maybe an Instagram post or a post on Facebook or a party post, something like that. So when you get ready to do some photos, just make sure you're taking a lot of them from different angles. Take some that have space, some that don't have space, so that you can play with them in Canva so that you can do different things with them later, because you don't want to have done all that work and then need a picture that fits in a certain place or need a picture that is of a certain thing and not have that. So I hope that makes sense. Y'all are welcome to ask questions anytime. I don't want you to think that I'm one of those mean teachers that doesn't want you talking during class. I'd rather y'all talk. So these are I have used with the exception of this one picture. This is actually a mascara picture from them just because I was using different background examples. But you can use anything really. So the wood in all these pictures is a butcher block countertop for a table that I have in my craft room. This bottom right one is a marble cutting board that I found on Zulily. Same for this marble coaster in the top. This is a roll of like craft vinyl. That's like glitter craft vinyl that you would use for a Cricut. This is a printed vinyl backdrop. So I'll show you guys some of those that I have in a minute. When I went yesterday, it said that it cost $99. I for sure did not pay $99 for anything. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. I looked back at my receipt and I paid $20 for it. So definitely don't click this link and pay them $99 right now. Wait until they send you a coupon in your email that says like 5 for 100 or something like that. Like, don't pay $99 for something that I got for $20 last year. This is like a canvas that has like glitter glued onto it. I found these on Amazon for like $20. I got mine on AliExpress, but when I went back to try to find the link for you guys, they didn't have them anymore. So I don't know if you can on AliExpress or on
Have you
Wish or-
Sandra, have you tried doing that? Glitter made me think of I have like the, it might not be big enough, but like the 12 by 12 just craft paper that's glitter. Is it okay to maybe use something like that, or does it need to be like a vinyl?
I am running.
So you can for sure use craft paper. This one is craft vinyl, so you can use craft paper, craft vinyl. This pink one here is actually a gift bag that I had. You can use anything, like seriously. If you have a plate that you like the design on, put some tins on it and just take the picture with that. I'll show you guys. I have a couple of those. Y'all know Connie's favorite color is teal. So I have a couple teal plates. I know, right? I have a couple teal plates back there that I can take pictures on. In one of the previous pictures, there was like a little cupcake stand that I got at the dollar bins at Target that I had. I think it was like the moisturizer or something on. Let's see. Oh, here it is. The milk mask. So you can use anything that you want as a backdrop, as a prop. I love using, I'll show you guys in a little bit. Like I said, the dollar spot or whatever it's called at Target, when you first walk in, they always have cute stuff. This background here in the bottom left, the polka dots, that's actually got from the dollar spot at Target. You can use so many different things. Just use your imagination. I go to the Dollar Tree and get props and stuff. You'll see some of those in one of the next slides. So really, you can use anything. Just use your imagination. So this is a slide about some of the apps that I use. So I did all of these with Google Photos. So Google Photos will turn your images into little GIFs or little animations, little videos, mini videos, basically. So for all of these pictures, I just stitched multiple photos together, and then they turn into like a little GIF. So it looks like this brush is moving. So this is one of Connie's new favorites that I just did last week. That you can use for like, it's time for new makeup, or it's time to clean your brushes, or it's time for anything. And like I said before, if you're not loving one picture, you can put them all together to make like little video clips like this. And then over here on the left side, this one is actually a video, so it's gonna play some music. But in the background of this first photo, you see these little pumpkins and leaves and stuff. And that's just all stuff from the Dollar Tree that I got when it was fall. I think this was 2 years ago. So I'll click play so you guys can watch that for a couple seconds. There, I guess it's not going to do the music, which is fine. So those are like little ornaments, more Dollar Tree stuff, ribbon. You can use anything in your photos as props. Lots of Dollar Tree stuff in all the fall and Halloween sets. The footballs are little ornaments, and then I know a lot of y'all are in Alabama, so there's some houndstooth ribbon thrown in there for good measure, for a good football team down there. So this is just some of the stuff you can do in Google Photos. It's very it's a very good tool for free. So you can do some cropping, some rotating, some photo editing. Most of that stuff I do in Lightroom just because I'm comfortable with it. But if you're comfortable with Google Photos or iPhotos, you can use either of those to do a lot of things while you're working. So this is some of the stuff that I've done in Lightroom. You can change lighting like I did here in this top right photo of my friend's daughter. You can also crop to take things out of the picture, like her other daughter in the background. You can blur, you can dodge, so that things that are bright neon green aren't so bright neon green in the photo. So you can get rid of some of the that you don't want to notice as much in the photo. You can also do color correcting. So if you notice in this top photo, there's like a little bit of a yellow tint to this picture. So you can make sure that your whites are white and that you don't have any off color. You can lighten photos. So if you see this picture was taken in mom's bathroom. Again, this was back when mom was starting with mascara. So these are some of her first before and afters. So you can see that the lighting is not great in these photos. So you can actually remove some of the shadows. So if you see under her nose in the pictures here, there were some pretty dark shadowing. So you can lighten the shadows in Lightroom and just lighten the overall photos also. And then you can play with contrast and different layers, not layers, different levels of contrast, and so you can go from like a soft to like a more gritty photo, just depending on what look you're going for. And then of course you can rotate, you can crop, you can do all the other things that you can do in iPhotos. You just also have more things that you can do, mostly like.
So Cassandra, it's always better to go darker, right, than lighter?
Yes, I think I had that in your slide, but I forgot to say it. So it's better to not have enough light, not like you're taking a picture in the dark. Any of the detail of the layers of her dress if I wanted to get that back. So I can lighten it up, but I can't create shadows and details where they're not with Lightroom. You would need Photoshop, which is expensive. If any of you guys have looked at getting that, you can sign up for Creative Cloud, which will have the full version of Lightroom, the full version of Photoshop, Illustrator, and that's like $53 a month. So I really wish I could have that for myself, but I don't have it. So that is all my talking for PowerPoints and stuff. So now we're going to see how to do that stuff. So I'm going to switch over to my phone and walk to the other room so I can turn the video off here so you guys don't have to see my shelves behind me. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so I think I'm sharing my. Can you see me?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, all right. I was like, what's going on?
I was thumbs up, but you couldn't see me, so.
Oh yeah, I can't see you guys anymore. All I can see is my screen now.
Okay.
So first, let's start with iPhotos. So y'all are gonna see a bunch of random pictures that I've taken in here because I take pictures dozens of times a day. So let's go to the picture that I was talking about earlier. So when you're in iPhotos, if you took a live photo, you can swipe up from the bottom and then you get these different options down here. So it takes it a second to refresh, but that's just the regular live photo. So it shows you like a half a second preview of what the live recorded. So then you can switch it to loop, which will go through that half second over and over again, but it does like a fade too. So it gives you almost the same as the bounce, but I like the bounce better because it looks more natural and it doesn't do that fade too. So these are all options that come with just the iPhotos. And then there's this weird long exposure one. So maybe if you were doing like a car moving down the road, or you wanted to do like a super long exposure of the moon or something like that, you could use that, but it just makes me look like a weird ghost. So let's not look at that any longer. So that's something that you can do in iPhotos. iPhotos also, as you probably know, lets you crop. You can do exposure, so you can adjust it and make the photo darker. You can make the photo lighter, but it's like very, very much contrast between one level to the next. So you can't fine tune it as much as with Lightroom. You can also up the brilliance and then highlight. So this is kind of what I was talking about in Lightroom, where you're able to up the brightness and then you can decrease the shadows. So it makes it less contrasty, but you can get a lot of weird looks if you go too far for one way or the other for any of these. You can make it like almost a black and white look where it's kind of glam looking. This will make your blacks blacker, the black point. If you have some saturation issues, like you wanted to make it look like the 90s, you can do that. But as you see, my skin is a little yellow when you go too far over. You can just play with all of these. See, that one made Bayou look like it's neon green, which is not super accurate. And then this picture was taken in natural light, which, if you don't know, it has kind of a blue tint. So you can warm it up so that it's more of a neutral color. So there's lots of options in iPhotos that you can use. And it's super easy to find all the options. There's like filters in here, kind of like on Instagram. I don't really use any of these just because I prefer the Lightroom app. So, but these are fast and easy and they're on your phone and they're easy to use. So
Can you
I'm gonna
save
just the
stuff like that in Lightroom? So if you have a filter kind of thing that you've tweaked with, can you save those in Lightroom? Or do you have to just individually tweak each photo each time?
So there's a way to save the presets. I'll show you guys that in a minute when I get into Lightroom. I guess I can just go ahead. Well, let me go to Google Photos first and then I'll go to Lightroom because I know Lightroom's going to take the longest because everybody's going to have lots of questions. So for Google Photos, it's really cool because they have really good search capability. So like I can search for all the pictures of me and it'll come up with every picture that I'm in, even if it's my driver's license or selfies that I took with my doggy, like every picture of me. You can also search for selfies, or I can search for mom. So these are all pictures that has Connie in them. So we did a photo shoot out at Jackson Lake. Oh, look, it wants to show you guys this picture. Can you guys see? That's mom when she was in the army back a few years ago. All right, so, but yeah, so it has really good search capability. So you can find where you took a picture or something that's in the picture. So that's a really cool thing. But so then once you go to, let's go to this album here. So these are some of my first pictures from Mascara Land. So this is when I started using mascara. This was my first time using mascara back, gosh, does it say when this picture? I don't know. It's been probably, let's see, going on 3 years now that I've been using mascara makeup. So I don't know if you guys have heard Connie's story, but I'm the one that got her hooked on mascara. So I'm glad that I introduced her to it. But so when you're in here and you're looking at pictures that you've taken and you want to make a video, for example. So let's just select a few of these pictures that I took. And then you can make an animation. All you do is select them and then click create animation, the little plus button at the top. And then it takes it a couple seconds, but and you can go into Canva, add text to one of the photos, and then put it into the gift so that it shows your logo or your business name or whatever you want. And then I'm sure you know on Facebook, stuff that catches people's attention are videos and things that are moving. Photos do catch their attention, but videos and anything that moves is going to catch people's attention easier. So that's just a quick animation or GIF. Then you can do the same thing as a slideshow, and that'll give you more control over it. So I'm just going to pick some of the same pictures, click the plus button up at the top, and then do movie instead. And so with movie, you can decide how long you want each photo to show up in the video. You can add music. So this is one of Google's auto available music selections. So you can pick from your music. You can use theme music. You can do no music, which is what I'm going to do right now so that it doesn't keep playing over and over again. But you can add additional photos. You can even add a video into the video. So if I wanted to go in here and add the GIF that I just made, for example, or the animation that I just made, I can add it at the very end and make it longer. You can click on this and move the different images around. You can make the length of time that they stay on the screen shorter or longer. And then you can just keep push and play to see if it's turned out exactly how you want it to be. And you can change it to landscape, which is what it should be, because most of those photos that I just added, and well, it's like half and half. So you would want to make sure that are the right direction. So I don't know why that one is just one. Anyways, so you can do lots of different things in Google Photos. I'm going to discard this because I don't need any more videos of these old pictures that we're not going to use anymore. All right, so that is Google Photos. Again, you can edit photos in here. There's cropping, rotating. You can auto rotate.
Hey, Cassandra, can you do this also on the computer, or is it just on your phone?
So a lot of the options are available on the computer also in Google Photos. I used the computer version yesterday for cropping some pictures. I'm not sure about the slideshow part and the animation part on the computer, but I would guess that they are on there. Google's really good about making their apps the same on the phone as on the computer, whereas Adobe Lightroom, which I'm going to talk about next, is not, because you can only use the Lightroom app on your phone. If you want to use the one on the computer, you have to actually pay for that Adobe Creative Cloud or a single license for Adobe for Lightroom. So Google is really good about having stuff be available on both those. So I haven't played with it a lot on my computer just because I'm usually on my phone all the time, but I'm sure that the capability is there too. So, but yeah, so you can do lots of different things in Google Photos. And you can favorite them so that you can find the ones you want. You can see where the photo was taken. And you can see that I'm using, like I said, an iPhone 7 Plus to take any of the pictures that you've seen. This phone is, gosh, 3-4 years old now. So it is not a super fancy camera that are coming out on the new phones. But I'm still able to take all these pictures and get good results with the phone that I have. So do you guys have any questions, any other questions about Google Photos? See, there's Mom.
You only because I wasn't trying to, I was listening and then I was like, well, let me pull up my phone and see what I can figure out. So I'm not, I guess, seeing when I'm in Google Photos, like
Okay.
how to do any of the things at all, as far as make any of that.
Okay.
Am I missing something? I know I'm an Android. Don't anybody say it.
So if you click the 3 dots up here in the top right corner and then click select and then pictures that you want to use. So let me go down here to some other pictures.
I don't have 3 dots.
Heather, do you see the 3 dots in the upper right-hand
No,
corner?
I
on
don't
that?
have
You
3
don't
dots.
have that?
When I bring up Google Photos, this is what my screen looks like.
Well, she did say if you have an Android, she doesn't know.
Shut up.
So
Also, I've just been able to hold my finger on the picture and that lets me select it.
Try that. Did that work?
I can select them, but as far as like making the video and doing all that.
So once you get them selected, do
Oh, I
a
see.
plus button.
Okay. Yes. Then the thing is there. I'm sorry.
So then do the plus button. Yeah, no, that's what we're here for, because I want you to be
Clearly
able to do. I don't know Android. I've never had an Android. So we just have to work together to figure out how to get to the same place.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So like I said, you can just hold your finger down. You don't have to click the 3 dots to select the picture and then still push the plus button and do animation, collage, movie, any of that. So let's do collage, because you can also create a collage on here. So you don't have to go through photo collage or PicStitch or something else. You can do it right here in Google, and that way it doesn't have a logo on their advertising for their application, and you don't have to watch an ad. Like PicStitch is one of the free ones that I use because it doesn't put their logo on your app, or on your photo, but it does make you watch an ad to get that free service. But you can do it in Google Photos. It doesn't cost anything.
Cassandra,
Yeah.
I use Spark Post a lot when I make things because you can click on the logo at the bottom and make it go away for just that picture, but you have to do every picture. But it's also free.
And what's that one called?
Spark Post, it's Adobe too.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
awesome.
I was sticking my tongue out at Cassandra because she harasses me all the time about Pic Collage because it has a logo. So y'all, I wasn't sticking my tongue out at you. I was sticking my tongue out at her and she didn't even see it because she harasses me about it.
I can't see anything, but that's one of my pet peeves is I don't want to be advertising for their app. I want to be advertising for our brand, whatever your brand is, whether it's Saint or Scentsy or Tupperware, whatever your brand is. I want you advertising for your brand, not for Pic Collage. So, all right. So I think that's. So let's go over. You see, I have tons of apps on here. Don't laugh. To Lightroom. So this is Adobe Lightroom. It is a very robust tool. So you can see this is the picture that I took that Beth was talking to me about how do I take pictures and how do I make the pictures look so good. So as you can see, there's nothing like super special about this picture. I have a dresser in the background. I have just the stuff kind of laid out in the box that it came in. But when you go into Lightroom, you can adjust the angle of the photo. And as you see down here in the bottom, it's very fine tuned. So you can hold your finger down and move it just a teensy tiny bit, and it's very fine tuned. And then you can also crop the picture and try to crop out anything that's distracting in the background. And you can just play with it, move it around, do that. You can, there's a straighten button down here. I don't like to use it, but I'll show you guys. See, it thinks that just because that line in the box is straight, that's the way that I want the picture to be, but that's not what I want the picture to be. So you can just always click the top right button that looks like a backwards arrow. That's the undo button. And you can just play with it as much as you want till you get the crop and rotate part that you're happy with. You can try their auto lighting button, but as you can see, when I just did that, it kind of turned the picture a yellow color. So that's not what I want to do. There are lighting settings down here. So all of the things that I was telling you about earlier about how to add more light, how to increase the contrast or decrease the contrast, which makes it look more, it makes your blacks look more blacker and your whites look more white at the same time. But I like to play with them separately. So I want my whites to be super white and my blacks to be super black. So this is going opposite ways on the chart here. And you can just play with stuff. You can let your whites look more gray and you can just play with it. And that's the cool thing about this, is that you have so many options on here. If your picture is a little blue on this first temperature scale here, this is where you would adjust your white balance. So remember that photo earlier, I told you it was a little yellow. So just like with our makeup, when we're doing color correcting, if your photo is a little yellow, you would add blue. If your photo is a little blue, you would add yellow. And it just lets you to make sure that your white is the right color white. Again, this is all preference. I tend to go a little on the warmer side, which is the yellow side, when I'm doing my pictures of myself, just because, just like with the Saint foundations, that little bit of warmth added to the pictures just makes it look more natural and more alive, whereas you don't want your skin to have a blue tint to it. So all of this is completely up to you. You can play with all the different effects. You can play with the sharpening. That just makes your picture look more crisp. So the
Cassandra,
yeah.
sorry, hon. For those of us who are new to Lightroom, can you start from the beginning and show us how to add our pictures into there so that we can even find our pictures in Lightroom?
Oh, yes. Okay. So when you pop into Lightroom, it will not look like this the first time you pop in. It might look something like this. So down in the bottom right corner, there's a picture with a plus sign on it. And then you would go to your camera roll and you can select if you have the pictures in a folder, or if it's recent photo or a selfie, you can just select whichever one you want, where your picture is located, and then click on the picture that you want to edit. And now it is into Lightroom. So that's when you can find all of these things I was talking about. So what Heather was asking me is, once you change the photo that you want and you have all the different settings that you're happy with, you've warmed it up a little bit, and you're happy with how this looks. So then you can go over here to the presets tab and go to user presets. well, that's not, where's the add? So maybe I have to go out and then go back in. Okay, presets. No, it's saying. Mom, do you remember how to do
Looks
this?
On that photo, mine has 3 dots. And on that photo, when you click those 3 dots, is
There we go.
preset.
Create preset. Okay, thank you, Heather.
I think we're gonna figure it out together.
Yeah, so based on settings that you used. And then once you're in here the next time, it'll show up in these presets. And then you can just click on the different presets and find which one you like the look of.
Let me ask you
So-
a question about
Mhm.
creating your own preset though. If the lighting is not the same that the picture's taken in and all, so that preset might not work for all pictures anyway though, right? Depending on the
Right.
lighting and all.
Just-
Isn't that even with bought presets? I mean,
Right,
Yeah.
which is why
I
when
mean,
you
that's always
buy
gonna be a
presets,
variable, correct?
right, because this is, I'm sure you've seen the ads for light and airy. So this is the light and airy preset pack. And so as you can tell, like it makes my hair look super weird. I'm not loving any of these. Like some of them make my face look orange. You just have to play with them. That one's way too bright. My whole face is ghostly looking in that one. Again with the orange face. So you just have to play with the different presets that there's some already on your phone. So like these color presets, they should already be there. So natural, bright, high contrast and detail, vivid, but see that makes that Bayou color look too green. So you just have to play with them and make sure that they're not changing colors that you don't want to change. Like I said, a lot of these are already on your phone, already in the app when you get it. And then like Mom and Heather said, you can buy presets and save them into your phone. So this,
Sandra,
yeah.
I know there's a bunch of apps out there that you can get presets in. Is there, or you buy the presets? Can you show how to get them into the Lightroom? Because that's what I've not figured out yet.
So when you download the presets, at least the ones that I bought, which are like I said, that light and airy pack, what it actually is a photo. And so you go in and import that specific photo. I'm sure I don't have them on here anymore. because I'm
I know what
pretty-
you're talking about now because it is a photo. I was wondering what I was supposed
Yeah,
to do, but now it makes sense.
So you just open up that photo and then you click the 3 dots at the top, like Heather was saying. And then you go to create preset and then you just name that. So like this one I could name flat lay, for example. And so then it saves the color, the light, the effects, and the detail, all the settings that are in that preset. And you can name it whatever you want to, and then it'll show up over here in your presets. So it should show up in this user presets.
I was gonna say, mine is not showing up, the one that I just saved. I can't figure out how to find it again.
So did you look in the user presets? When you click on presets, does it look like this? To see how it shows a number here on the right side, that's how many different presets are inside of that folder.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
And so then when I click on
Now I
user
see,
preset,
I see. Oh my God, there's too many things in this. Wow. Okay. Crap.
it's
I
a
got
very
buttons under
robust
buttons under
tool.
buttons, and then more buttons under buttons.
Exactly. It's a very robust tool. There's so many things that you can do with this app. I'm sure I'm only scratching the surface, but it's a lot of things that you can do. And then, like I said, you just play with the different presets and see which one looks best for that photo. Mom told me when I edited this one the other day that I had lightened it too much. So if you notice in the original picture here, the compact is pretty close to black. And then if I go with, say, this bright white preset, it makes it like a charcoal gray color, which isn't accurate. So you have to just be careful that you're not lightening too much so that the colors aren't accurately reflected anymore. So any more Lightroom questions?
Yeah, like, okay, so if it has like a blue dot by it, say like the healing, then you have to pay for that. You can't, it's not something you can use on the free version, right?
Right.
Okay.
So selective, that would be like a selection tool, like that would help you remove backgrounds and stuff.
Right.
Healing is like the Band-Aid that, like, if you have a blemish on your face, you can use the healing brush to correct that. And then geometry is one that will reduce skewing. So if you took something like at an angle and you wanted to straighten it back out, that's what geometry would do. But yeah, those are in that Creative Cloud bundle, which, like I said, is like $53 a month for all the apps. I think just for Lightroom, I want to say it was like $15 or $20 a month, something like that. So if that's something that's in your budget and those are features that you think you might need, and then also that would allow you to do your editing on the computer as well, not just on your phone. So
how would you like blur the background without do background stuff and the free part?
Let's see. Let me go to a different picture. Something that has a background in it. Okay. So this is a picture.
How brave you are for flipping through your photo album with us.
Oh, there's nothing too bad in there. You'll see a lot of like Pokemon random pictures and just random stuff. So this is my hubby. This was when we went up to Shenandoah. So if you go to, so if you see when I took this picture, let me just go ahead and put everything back to where it was. So you can see when I took this picture, he was super in shadow, and the focus is kind of the street behind him. So what I usually do is just play with the lighting. So this one is exposure. Like I was saying earlier, it's better to take a picture where there's not enough light than one where there's too much light. So you can increase the contrast, put more focus on the highlights. That one went too far. And then make the blacks blacker and the whites whiter. And so you just kind of are not really blurring out the background, but you're lighting the background so that it kind of goes further into the background, if that makes sense. So on this one, you can't actually blur it out. You can crop stuff out. But I can show you guys another tool. So there's this one called Blur Effect, which I haven't used in a long time, but it will actually blur out the background. You can also use Magic Eraser down here, which will erase the background. There's a web version called, Heather, I shared this one with you. I think it's.
I've used Remove BG before, but
Yeah,
that's not
what I
always
do.
great.
Yeah.
So Remove BG is the one.
Here's something. I'm sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
Spark Post, you can do a lot of blurring, background removal, and stuff like that in Spark Post. So that's
Okay.
a plus, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't used that one. So if it works for you, I mean, use it, because like every picture is gonna be your picture, you know, and so that's like better than not doing anything at all, you know. So this is the blur, what did I say, blur effect. So you can crop the picture. Ugh. When I'm pulling down from the top, it's wanting to pull down my notification thing. So I'm just gonna move the photo up instead, so you can crop it. And then you can touch blur. And so you can blur out everything in the background and make it not as noticeable. The best thing is to not take pictures with distracting backgrounds, ideally, but I know that's not always possible, especially if you're taking pictures of kids or of your pets or anything like that. So this one is ad supported, so it's not the best, but it works. So you can just use your finger and blur out any parts that you want to be less noticeable. But then if you go too far, like now it looks like Heidi's sitting on a random like cloud or something. I don't know. So you can see this was the before and now what it looks like. So you can just play with all the different tools that you have. Like I said, another one is called Magic Eraser. I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't have this. Now it's showing me an ad. Okay. So I don't want to do, I don't know why it's trying to make me do that. I didn't have to do that before. I probably clicked on the wrong thing. So X, that's what I want to do. All right, so they're just trying to trick me into starting some free trial. Okay, so let's go back to this picture of Heidi. We'll play with it again. And so on this one, this is removing the background.
Oh,
so
but you have to be careful.
Now Heidi really will be. Yeah, and so you can undo if you like go over, you just click this little circle with the arrow and just undo it. So it's not like automatic like it is on remove.bg. Let's see. It says you can do a magic wand, but that didn't work. Yeah. So see which one works for the specific thing that